G'day everybody and welcome back to the Dangles Jiu-Jitsu channel. So today we're going to look at the side control. We're going to look at attacking the far side arm. So as we learned right from the very start, getting an underhook on that far side arm is a really good thing to try and have as an objective. But there's lots of other good options that are available there that are often overlooked, and we're going to take our time today just to have a look at those. So first things first, when we think about what we actually do when we get an underhook, we get underneath the arm, we get behind the tricep of our opponent. And what that does, obviously, is it gives us an opportunity to be able to lift their elbow up above their head and also help us in terms of controlling, especially when we use it with a crossface. But we can also control that arm a number of other ways, 3 other ways to be precise. So we have the back of our arm, the front of our arm, we also have the back and the front of our forearms. So we're going to look at how we can utilize each one of those so we can build into attacks and have many more ways to be able to control our opponent. So first and foremost, classic underhook. So again, whether his arm is in front or his arm is behind me, it doesn't really matter. Once my arm is underneath here, I can use this position to be able to drive all the way underneath his arm, lift it above his head, and get into strong positions. Whether I look to get my head behind here now, I can lock my hands, come across, and look to finish choke, okay, a head arm choke, or we can build into any number of other good submissions from there. But what often happens is once we get here is that the person underneath is going to get their forearm in front of us and start to push us away. It can make it difficult for us to manage. So if I get here and Jace knows what he's doing, he starts to press here and push away. So there's a lot of ways that we can deal with this in terms of changing our body shape and getting into different side control configurations. But one thing we can do is to, as I said, attack this far side arm in a different way. So if I am here and he starts to press up and push away, I'm going to circle my hand inside, join my hands here and drive his arm to the ground. So you can see I'm on the front of his bicep here. So we call this a shoulder pin or a front Nelson. So it's actually the power half Nelson upside down. And what this does and what makes it so effective is that if Jace tries to lift his his left shoulder up here to try and turn it towards me, he'll really struggle to do that. And that shuts down his ability to be able to bridge and shrimp and do a lot of the classic escapes that you'll see people do from underneath the side control. So from here again, really good position to be able to build into lots of good submissions. If he is here and he brings his hand in, I can start to attack his hand. If he starts to try and bring his elbow down closer to his body and bring it back, I can bring my elbow up and build through in a really powerful baseball choke approach that we can do there as well. So lots of great controlling options there and lots of ways we can actually go and build into multiple submissions. Same again though, sometimes, especially when our opponent really doesn't want us to get underneath this elbow, between the elbow and the body here and get into a underhook position and get our elbow up nice and high underneath their arm, we're going to struggle to be able to get our hand in front or behind their upper arm. So when that happens, we get a good option now where we can actually go and attack the wrist. Okay, and this first one I learned from watching the Mendes Brothers many years ago. And again, it's a fantastic option if we are here. I'm trying to dig in here to try and get access into his armpit, but I can't. So I'm going to bring my hand back and I'm going to slide underneath and control his wrist. It's one of those things with the human body that you can't control both. If Jace keeps his wrist really close to his body here, his elbow flares up, I'll always be able to get underneath it. If his elbow comes in tight so I can't get there, his hand has to come up off his body. You can't have both at the same time. So I know with great certainty, as soon as I feel I can't get under here, I'm going to have access to be able to come through and attach here. This is surprisingly controlling. So you would think it doesn't look like much, but from here he can't pull his arm out this way, which means he's not going to be able to rotate that way. And if he starts to rotate towards me, I can very easily push my chest back into his hand and hold him in a good pin. What works well from here is to be able to come around to the front. And again, as I lift up, often as he tries to turn into me, I get access to his arm again. I can build into a Kimura and then work my way down to get a strong finish through there as well. And last but not least then, so we've looked at the back of his upper arm, his tricep. We've looked at the front of his upper arm, his bicep. We've looked at the front of his hand, front of his wrist. But sometimes everything's shut down and we can't get to that. When that happens, we can actually attack the back of his wrist. And this is something that's, I guess, relatively new in terms of how I've been training, and guys are making it work now in competition, which is a great thing for us to see. So again, if we're here, we have a crossface, and again, he keeps that elbow super tight, but by the time I come up here to try and get this, his hand gets tight again as well. I'm actually going to come over the top of his wrist, and I'm going to come and join my hands here now. So this looks like it shouldn't trap his hand in place, but if I get here and I squeeze and hold, and Jace goes to try and pull his hand out, it actually becomes very controlling. Okay, so same idea. If he tries to turn towards me, I can press into him. If he tries to turn away, I pull back. Very controlling position, and again, it sets up a whole host of attacks if I can clear this near side arm and get it a little higher, I can come over here, come through and set up really nice triangle attacks from the top side control position. So that's it. Have a look at that, and hopefully you can add some of those ideas to your game. Don't get locked into that idea of just trying to get an underhook on the far side arm. There's so many wonderful options available there if you open your mind a little bit. Getting your hand in front of the bicep, getting on top to the front or the back of the wrist is going to open up a whole world of different opportunities for you. So give it a go and let us know how you get on.